Now, hang on. I got to back up here. Brecky Wishabeki is the president of the AFL Media. What is it called?
The Australian Football Media Association. AFCA.
Okay.
I know nothing.
The only thing they do in a 12-month period is this night. There's not another thing they do.
No, it stands for more than that, Jim.
What?
There is one function that it runs.
In a full year's calendar, there's one dot you got to put in there somewhere if you run the joint.
A couple of things, but the main one
that's
is...
it.
Yep.
That's it. And on that night, he's unavailable. He can't attend his own function. Is that what you're saying?
He had to go to dinner.
Purple.
I don't know the reasons, Jim. I was unaware until BT read it out on the night that he's an apology, and I don't know any more than that.
Now, I received an email, which I'm sure a lot of you did. From tonight, the plastic takeaway cups for soft drinks and takeaway coffee cups will not be served in the MCG Media Centre. This is to support the MCG's award-winning sustainability environmental practices, reducing waste levels. So we're going to provide mugs for coffee,
big
and
ones
glasses
too.
for soft drinks.
Soup bowls, they were.
When did this start?
This is last night.
You just started last night.
You went there, Doug.
So you'll be handed a mug, and that'll do you for the day.
Oh, boy.
So
What about the coffees you get off?
Off your mate.
Brazilian Anaconda.
So no cups or glasses should be taken out of this area. This is the email we received.
Yep.
Which then made me think, of course, of back in the day, when you used to have a fridge full of magnificent sort of soft drink bottles, Diet Coke, full Coke, lemonade, Sprite,
Gatorade.
Whatever you wanted.
Whatever you wanted was in
Fridge
this.
was always full.
In this fridge.
Big M.
And then we got sort of wind of the fact that there were nowhere near as many soft drink bottles in this fridge at the end of the day as there should have been. And Spud buried his mind to this more than anyone ever could have, because he was sure that there was something up.
It worried him.
He was sure something was going on.
He was.
And he would come with this stupid look on his face every time we were at the G, because he thought he was a step closer to the drink stealer.
And he was getting close, and then we received a legal letter.
Threatening letter.
From a person who may have thought that they were about to be exposed. And I still don't know the name of that person, other than we were sat down at Triple M, weren't we?
Yep.
And explained very clearly to us that under no circumstances are we allowing Spud to name who the drink stealer he thought was.
Weren't there drinks also going missing off when the coaches did their post-match press?
Oh, no, that happened later.
That was a
different one.
Oh,
that was Rowan Conley.
That was different. He actually put his hand up.
Yeah, he did.
And he said, no, that was me. At the end of the presser, I thumped the bottle.
We can name him, because he named himself.
He said, I just got thirsty, so I took it.
So, with all of this as the backdrop, we get this email. Dear Jim, you are a legend. Leave that bit out. I'll leave that bit out at the top.
All these emails start like that.
I'll just leave that bit out at the top. I read it, Stark. I probably shouldn't. You are a legend. I know you guys did an amazing job of sending Spud off. I listened to all of the podcast, and by the way, the podcast numbers, Bristle, have been extraordinary.
Through the roof.
Triple M apps. Get on the Triple M apps and download the podcast. It is so amazing.
Best ever in the history of Triple M.
That's it. So it was so good, according to the email here, and I agree. It was actually fantastic to listen to the great man. The only thing you didn't put in there that I'd love to hear is the drink stealer. Is this possible? Go Pies, Craig. So, Craig, we're going back, Craig, just because you asked me so nicely, especially that bit off the top. We're going back to 2010 and the drink stealer.
Jim!
I don't know. I've walked in to the sound of crisis meetings, to the sound of staff heads in.
Mate, the Greycoats have got together on a crisis of monumental proportions that puts today's blockbuster between St Kilda and Collingwood in the shade, Jim.
Gary, I've gone and got a white cup, a plastic cup. I put ice in there. I went under the Diet Coke post-mix.
Which is a bad disgrace in itself.
Which we're only drinking because the drink stealer kept stealing the other bloody drinks. Under it went and vapour came out. Just gas.
Just
air just came out on top of my ice, Gary. There is now not a drink we can have in this area.
You two were late. Davo and I and Big Nose producer were privy to a meeting which had our ears buzzing. The 5 grey coats that just oversee the proceedings in the media room and the food spud have got together and have used the word the drink stealer is on notice. He's under surveillance today and the food stealer, and they're speaking rations token style.
Not Amy Stadium.
Amy Stadium token style.
Now,
I tell you
on
what.
the back of 3 blokes, we reckon.
I'm parched.
3 blokes.
I'm parched. I've gone out there
No
to a couple
food?
of guys. I won't put them in, but old Baz is a bit... no, I'm not going to put him in. I ran some names by him, and he said it's one of them, so I can't run with it on air. We've been warned, but I tell you, I'm parched.
I know.
I'm like a camel.
Let me
Seriously.
say this. There are people listening who often say to me, now listen, what you do is funny, might be in house, you've got to let us in on the joke. This is not a joke.
No.
It's not.
We lost our drinks in bottle form because there was a
form.
drink stealer going around
Gary,
pinching them at
me
the
neither.
end.
Diet Coke, Diet,
We
Sprite.
used to walk in, and that fridge, when you first walked in, looked like a roadhouse. It had the lot.
Everything.
Diet Coke, lift.
Portello.
Exactly. Orange
Now you
juice.
can't get anything, so we've had to begrudgingly accept that in the knowledge that there's 2 or 3 blokes have put...
They just
Now-
used to take, we need to explain, they used to take their bag,
Yeah.
like I got a bag here to fit 2 drinks in it.
Yep.
They'd bring a thing that would sustain
roll-
you for a month
roll-on
overseas.
suitcase
They'd
style.
bring that in and just open up the door and roll them in.
Yep.
The other one was the duffel coats.
Yes.
They had big pockets.
Oh.
The King G overalls with all
I
the
tell
pockets.
you
They
what.
had 12 or
Well,
13
it's been
pockets in
extended
them.
to the food because now I believe they start bringing platters out to take whatever food's out. So that's gone now. We're on the verge of probably fading away to nothing in here. It's the only thing that gets us-
Dehydration. Don't worry about caffeine.
You stick your tongue out the window and hope for a drop of rain, Spud. That's the best you're going to get.
Oh, no food, no
I'm
drinks.
going to the drip tray in
This
the
is a-
toilet.
tell you
This
what.
is a big game today, St Kilda Collingwood, and we've got plenty to talk about from last night. Geelong and Adelaide who were magnificent. But for God's sake, Jim, you run this show.
No.
Get to the bottom of it.
I just cannot fathom.
Name names,
I
Spud.
will name names. When I
Name
get
'em.
a drink in an hour, I am naming names. So,
Oh,
Remember though,
man.
Denny, there is
producer,
legal action
I know,
pending.
get
Once
the
you do.
illegals on the phone.
Get the
1 o'clock,
Austereo
I'm running
lawyer.
with it.
Get him in here.
Mate, as we speak, the best we can hope for drink-wise is a Pablo coffee. The best, Gary.
I don't think, but there ain't no milk out there.
Caterer's blend.
Because the Steelers not. He's not. Don't put it past him from taking the milk as well at the end of the day.
tell you
This
what,
is
no.
just a disgrace.
And-
we've given it to Amy. To be fair, we've given it to Amy Stadium
exactly.
for 3 years
Yeah.
about their rationing docket style setup, and we look like going down the same path. There's going to be a boycott, Spud. There will be a mass walkout.
It's easy to give Amy Stadium one of the pills,
That's it.
but we're now eating our own. The media room. This is crisis day in the media boxes. There's 12 boxes. Everyone's looking around at each other. Is it him? Is it him?
No.
Who is it?
Well, it's not us.
It's got to be mutiny.
not us.
It's got to be
We
like the
know
old
who it
days.
is, bud.
We've got to get someone to walk the plank. We need someone.
Well, you
on
know
that.
who it is, Denny.
I can't run with
Mate,
it.
You've,
I can't.
you've verified that.
Well, your name was thrown in it, but I can't run. I ran 4 or 5 names past Baz, and he said that.
Spud's head at the minute is going purple
it's just-
style.
it is.
Not only has he got that, he's got a couple of wobble whacks of monumental proportions
well,
up
he
his
has.
sleeve.
I'm going to run with that later, but stealing your words, it's a heinous crime. Heinous!
What, you've come across a heinous crime?
Unbelievable.
Heinous even.
Exactly.
I'm telling you right now. It is
That's the word I'm looking for.
A couple of apples, bad ones, Gary,
No, good.
have ended up in a beautiful box and ruined the lot.
I would describe the relationship between media box to box to box
I tell you
as edgy and
Not Frosty anymore.
Frosty at best.
No, not Frosty.
Now it's just all out, everywhere man for himself, Spud.
It's Armaguard style.
I tell
It's
you what-
Armaguard, bulletproof. Our box now has to become bulletproof.
Look at Spud. He's dropping. He's fading before my eyes, Jim.
I
I can't believe it. I can't believe
I
it.
thought I'll just have a drink at home.
Drink Steelers ruined it for everyone.
Nice little cordial at home with the kids.
I want
I'll
the-
wait
I tell
till I
you
get to
what
the G.
I know Caroline Wilson's had a tough couple of days because she's under the pressure, but she's the president of the AFL Media Association. Get her on the phone. please,
Yeah.
Big Nose. You know her.
We're eating our own.
Well, you
It's not
need to
good enough.
talk. I want to talk to her about constituents, which is
Well,
us.
this is the biggest game of the year. Top spot up for grabs.
We've got to be
here.
hydrated.
We're
Spud.
going to see some of our best work. Me lips are stuck. I'm past. Seriously, how's me hump going, Damo? Oh, seriously, I can't work in these conditions.
I'm holding the ice glass under the Diet Coke. Nothing's coming out. I've turned to Bazza. I said, Bazza, what's this? He said, sorry, pal. Until we work out what's so rotten here. She's machine off.
Yeah, and no one is beyond suspicion, he said.
I'm like Baz. We're brothers.
What came out of the drink machine?
What about the beautiful big fridges?
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Nothing.
Zero.
It is as empty
You know
as
what?
you've ever seen.
This was his quote. Well, we overheard this quote.
Don't do a Sammy
I'm
Newman
not
on us.
making this up. No, I'm not saying who it was. He said that this is true. There are rats in the rats.
Oh, no.
Melbourne Storm style rats in the ranks. That's the words he used.
As I slid by him, empty ice glass in hand, he looked at me, Baz, and
that ice back.
and we're tight, Gary.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he said, "You bloke started this. We think it might be you because you went with it first, a bit like a bloke dropping one. He gives it the, who was that? When it was actually him."
I can confirm. I've actually done a little bit of reconnaissance. We've been cleared,
We're
which
cleared?
is rightfully so, because we've had nothing to do with it. But I tell you what, there are some others, rats in the ranks that would be sweating bullets right now.
How can one topic get you
mate.
10 minutes of
Mate,
radio?
the mayonnaise you
Jeez,
blokes put on it.
We milked that, didn't we?
What about the mayonnaise?
Hey, all I'll say is this, Bill.
Yeah.
Firstly, we used to take, didn't we, Bristle, the access to the drinks pretty seriously.
So who was it?
And secondly, at Damo, all BS aside, the Triple M management received a threatening legal document to say that this name cannot be dropped, didn't we?
We were briefed before a
remember
Saturday rub one day,
So who
and,
was
and we
it?
were told not to name
allowed to mention
anyone, not to even jokingly
I-
reference another box,
One of
and
them.
certainly don't mention individuals.
I think there were a couple, but I do remember a burly bag.
Oh,
A burly
no
footy
doubt.
bag.
So who was it?
No doubt.
It's never been named.
Never been named.
So
And won't be
going to
done.
the fridge and putting soft drink bottles into the bag
Yes.
and taking them home.
Yes.
Like how many? How many?
Like a dozen.
Dozens.
Eight, 10,
they've
whatever
never-
was
So
left.
10 bottles, just put them in the bag and walking
And
out.
how come,
So
how
they
come
do
they've
it-
never
they-
been named? If
No,
did you
because
take
of a legal injunction.
Well, we've.
It's
they're
10
actually-
years now,
they're
statutory
actually,
of
They're actually doing it. They've
declaration.
actually done it.
This man was banking them for the.
If he
for
was
the-
guilty,
for his
if he-
Christmas
if-
at home.
If this
you know,
person
have
was
to buy a
guilty,
drink.
then clearly you should be allowed to name them.
Well,
if you
it's-
can prove
no.
that he's guilty.
We
But
can't
no.
prove it.
What's
He or
the
she.
statute of limitations?
Probably about 10 years. So we
Mate,
might be
I
right.
reckon,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember
Maybe we
the
should-
surveillance?
Maybe we should
went
look at
into?
releasing in the names next year, JB.
What I love is I remember that that game that day was enormous. The Saints were flying 2010.
Yeah.
And they were playing the Pies, who obviously ended up being the premiers. We didn't mention it once in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Triple M's beautiful ability to talk about ourselves for 10 straight minutes.